The Mortal Kombat movie was not just a bad Mortal Kombat movie, but it was just a bad movie. And I'm going to tell you why in the most pragmatic and reasonable way that I possibly can. Because there's this conception out there that I just hate this movie for the sake of hating this movie. And that is 100% far from the truth. When the trailer did drop, if you actually watched my video where I give you my honest thoughts on the trailer and my updated thoughts on the movie in general, though I did state concerns and criticisms from the trailer, I also gave high praises for the trailer, and I did make it very clear that after watching the Mortal Kombat movie trailer, I do see myself enjoying the movie. In other words, I did give this movie a chance. And now that the movie's out, I think I am qualified 100% to have an opinion. And in this video, I'm going to go over the reasons why I did not like this movie and why I think it's a bad movie. And I'm going to break it down into chapters: the underdeveloped characters, the arcana, the plot holes, the fighting, the aesthetics, and Cole Young. The characters in this movie are super underdeveloped. You do not want to have underdeveloped characters in your movie. Character development and the plot of the movie are almost intertwined with each other, and when character development is lacking, it also brings down the plot of the movie, and it just brings your movie down to whole new levels of low. Most of the characters show up kind of just to show up. Kung Lao shows up, and he does cool stuff and has somewhat of a likable personality, but he doesn't do much. Liu Kang and Kung Lao only interact twice. None of them are an exchange of dialogue. There's no chemistry between them, and we're supposed to care about Liu Kang's loss and feel bad for him. Liu Kang talks about how he met a brother when he joined the Shaolin and mentions that he's his cousin, but how can we care about that when they don't show us how much they mean to each other? We, as Mortal Kombat fans, may care, but as a movie and script-wise, the film does not make any effort to make the audience care. The heroes don't connect with each other and don't have any chemistry. They kind of just meet each other and follow along the plot. The dinner scene, although a great scene, could have been used for the characters to all connect with one another, to learn about each other, to understand each other, and just to make our heroes feel connected. Liu Kang, Sonya, and Johnny Cage all felt connected in the 95 movie and in Scorpion's Revenge. We are simply not given any time to develop the characters. The dinner scene was mainly Kano's big moment, which was good, but you could have had both, because if you did do both, it would be better, and I don't think anybody would disagree there. The characters that get the most development are Kano and Cole Young, and only one of them is good. And Kano's existence in the script, in the movie, is the shining example of actually being capable of writing good characters. And talking about the villain specifically, they're just there just to be there as well. Shang Tsung appears 3 times before he even gets named. He doesn't have a proper introduction, and we don't get a sense of who he is and his motives, and he's quite literally just a generic bad guy. The other villains are completely wasted as well. Melina is wasted, Reiko is wasted, Nitara is wasted, Reptile is wasted, Goro is wasted. All of these characters are so generic and bland, and if you replace them with random evil guy from Outworld number 3, 4, 5, and 6, nothing would change. If these characters are going to be jobbers, why not use actual jobbers? Do not treat named characters that fans care about as if they're not important, because that in no way shows that you have respect for the source material. And due to this fact that the villains are so generic and bland, the villains don't give us any reason for us to think that they're a threat. Remember how Steppenwolf in Justice League was just a CGI bad guy for the Justice League to fight? We have the same problem in this movie with all of the villains, except for Sub-Zero. Imagine if Thanos had no development and he just wanted to kill the Avengers because he just can. Do you think that would be better than what Thanos actually is in the MCU? As a result of this, the movie has no stakes, and a lot of the fights have no weight to them, and they just happen because, LOL, remember this is Mortal Kombat. Show Melina biting a head off. Show Reiko being a smart and strategic general, like how he is in the games. Just show us why we should care about them. So let me just put this plainly. The Arcana plot point is straight ass. We do not need to have a plot point dedicated to explaining the Mortal Kombat character's special moves. Look, Guardians of the Galaxy didn't dedicate an entire plot point to explaining how a tree could talk, or why Rocket speaks English and walks like a human. This is an example of the studio not having faith in the audience and not having faith in the source material. Because do they think that the audiences are just not capable of understanding characters using their special moves? If movies like Aquaman are billion-dollar movies where people talk underwater and people move smoothly underwater like how they are on land, there should be 100% no problem with just explaining that Kung Lao's hat is what can make him teleport and Liu Kang's fireballs come from his inner chi, or that Kano's eye laser comes from his metal eye. The Arcana plot point just raises way too many questions that shows why it's such a bad concept. For example, what if Joe Schmo accidentally killed Kano in a car accident? Does he get the Arcana now? Does Joe Schmo all of a sudden have to fight in a Mortal Kombat tournament? Like, what the fuck? Why doesn't Kano just shoot 2 laser beams out of his eye? What do tonfas have anything to do with Cole's Arcana and personality? And Sonya discovers her Arcana super fast, and what relation do the pink rings have to her? Nobody cares why these characters have special moves. If audiences don't care that Atlanteans speak underwater, if audiences don't care that a raccoon can talk, if audiences don't care that Captain America's shield doesn't obey the laws of physics, then the audience sure as hell don't care that Liu Kang can shoot a fireball out of his goddamn hand. The plot of the movie is that Shang Tsung and his minions are trying to kill the Earthrealm warriors before the tournament. It's a prequel to the Mortal Kombat 1 tournament. Now, you would think this is a new clever take on Mortal Kombat stories, but in reality, it falls apart very quick. So Shang Tsung is trying to cheat and break the rules of Mortal Kombat, and it's established that he is cheating. So why didn't Raiden do his job and fry Shang Tsung as soon as he entered into his temple? I know some people may say, well then if he did that, then the plot wouldn't happen. And that right there is you saying how shallow the plot is without even knowing it, because you're correct. If one character did their purpose correctly, then the movie falls the fuck apart. And it's even more confusing when Raiden says that he's not able to interfere, but he interferes by shielding his temple and stopping the conflict. He interferes by teleporting the heroes and villains to other locations. And at the end, he zaps Shang Tsung away. Again, why didn't he do this when Shang Tsung first shows up to his own fucking temple? Raiden also teleports the heroes into the void, and he specifies that Shang Tsung could not follow anyone into the void. So why didn't he have the heroes train there? It's not like their training required much setting importance. And because the plot is so shallow, it makes Raiden's character look very bad. One of this movie's biggest selling points was getting to see the fight scenes, and the director of the movie promised to have the best fight scenes ever put on film. Well, I'm sorry, but that's just not the case. The fight choreography is extremely poor in a lot of fight scenes like Reiko versus Jax, Sonya versus Melina, Liu Kang versus Cabal, and these are a big portion of the total fights in the movie. And all of those ones that I listed are the big climactic ones. You know, the most important. On top of that, it's not kung fu based, it's just generic action movie choreography, and that's a huge problem since Mortal Kombat was based on kung fu and kung fu movies. So if you're not doing that, then you're kind of missing part of the DNA that makes Mortal Kombat. Hell, the main star of the movie, Lewis Tan, is an extremely skilled martial artist, and Cole Young, his character, doesn't get to show that. All Mortal Kombat fight scenes need to show that the characters are getting hurt, and that's just not the case for the majority of the fights in the movie. Aesthetic-wise, it does not feel or look like Mortal Kombat. Most locations in this movie are in a dark and colorless setting, and we spend most of our time in a brown desert-like setting. Mortal Kombat is not known to be very colorless, because Mortal Kombat is known for its diverse locations and much color. Our world kind of just looks like a desert with just weird people. It doesn't look like you're not on Earth, and that shouldn't be the case for a place that is in an entire different realm of existence. And the big climactic fight takes place in a frozen version of a fight cage warehouse? Okay then. So now let's talk about the main character of the movie, Cole Young. This character does not do a single thing in the entire movie but just get beat up and follow the heroes around. He never wins a fight. We aren't shown anything that makes him special until he gets literal plot armor and only becomes useful when the plot wants him to be. Lewis Tan might be a great martial artist, but he can't act. He doesn't emote at all throughout the entire movie and delivers his lines in a very flat way. Again, Lewis Tan is a skilled martial artist and probably the best among the cast, but he never gets to show that at all in the movie. Never mind his poorly written character, if he just got to win some fights or show that he's competent enough, then I believe a lot more people would like him. I think I would like him a little bit more, because if you notice, generally people have a good response to Kung Lao in this movie, even though there's not much to his character, but at least he got to do some cool things. So if Cole Young had the same situation, you could have made him better. But his entire existence, he himself, is a plot device as much as the Arcana shit is a plot device. Let me conclude by just saying this. The movie never feels like it has faith in the source material. It feels like a movie where they are just taking named characters and putting them in a fight scene. There is no depth. The movie spends too much time explaining why the characters have powers instead of exploring a character's backstory and what makes the character the character. And the producers and the studio try and disguise themselves as caring for the source material and being loyal to it by having cute references and paintings on the walls that fans might recognize. No, just because Shinnok's amulet, a Shao Kahn painting, Katana's fan, and an Oshtek show up in the background doesn't mean or say anything about caring for the source material. Developing and exploring the characters and the world of Mortal Kombat is what's being loyal to the source material. You know, it's perfectly fine to just like Mortal Kombat for the blood and gore. It's what brought Mortal Kombat to life. And if that's all you wanted to see, then that's okay. But you also have to understand that there are a ton of Mortal Kombat fans that stuck around with the franchise because of the characters and the universe that it built. And for a movie, no matter if it's Mortal Kombat or not, needs to prioritize that instead of a gimmick that is the blood and gore. Making a movie based on a gimmick is doomed to be a bad movie. Making a movie based on good stories and character development and universe building is destined for success. I live and breathe Mortal Kombat. I love it with all of my heart. And imagine not liking the thing that you live and breathe. It makes you feel awful. And that's how I felt watching this movie. I don't mind if you like this movie or not. I have never attacked or questioned people who like this movie at random. I only have a problem when someone tells me what to think, or to tell me to stop having an opinion, or to put it plainly, just shut up, consume product, and to be excited for the next product. This video was not to try and change someone's mind or to tell someone how to think. It was to make you aware in the most pragmatic and reasonable way possible of why I did not like this movie. If you disagree with me or want to share your opinions on the movie, leave it in the comments below and let me know what you guys think. Also, make sure to follow me on Twitch. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can talk to me all about that on there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a big thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a video from me. I'll see you guys in the next video.